To go ahead and get started here, we're going to be talking about the basics in CompanyCam. So how to take better photos and keep them organized, have everybody on the same page, and essentially just have some great consistency in your CompanyCam account. What kind of photos do you guys need to take? How do you want them to look? Are you organizing them? Are you leaving context? So we're going to keep it pretty basic here today. Um, and again, happy to answer any questions you guys have in that Q&A. Getting over into our agenda here. So we're going to talk about some mobile basics. That's where I'm going to start off opening up the app. What does your home screen look like? Jump into that camera where you can find some tagging options, adjust your settings, the resolution within your camera, all that good stuff. Where to find your photos, how you can annotate those, over into some project details there with labels and some organizational tools there. So let's scroll over here. What you should see here is CompanyCam. On the left-hand side is the mobile side, so that's going to be the app. And then on the main screen here is going to be the desktop version of CompanyCam. So you can log in on both places there. So to get started here, I'm going to primarily just talk about this mobile side here. I just opened up CompanyCam and this is my home screen. So whether you're new to CompanyCam or you just need a refresher here, we've changed our home screen a few times, so it might look different to you. The way I have it set up here, I love nearby projects. I keep those towards the top because I want to, when I arrive at a job site, I want to be able to click into that project that pops up. When you first open up CompanyCam, it says, will you share your location? Do you want to share your location with CompanyCam? Always click yes. If you didn't do that, you can adjust that in your phone settings, but by doing that, then you're really able to access that nearby projects. Scrolling down, the way I have this set up is start project, so that's going to be unique and to the individual and that user in CompanyCam. I've got jump back in, so I was just at this project. I went to lunch, I closed my phone. Let's jump back into that same project. And then I just have my projects tab and my photo feed. So my screen probably looks different than yours, and you can adjust yours by hitting Edit Home Screen. So just scroll all the way to the bottom and click Edit Home Screen. That gray bar there. Then you'll have this customized page pop up where you can select which you would like to have on there, which views, and then of course you can move those around as well. So these dots here, those 6 dots, if you just long press, you can move these up and down. So again, I love having nearby projects up at the top, and I do recommend all of these, but you can do whatever you want, try different things. And again, this will be unique to each individual user. So if you just added somebody to your team today, you might want to jump in there and help them edit their home screen. All right, let's go ahead and exit out of that and get back on here. So again, just kind of your home screen here. Another one that I wanted to point out was my feed. So if I click on this here, I just clicked on the title there that says my feed. These are going to be all of my photos. So if I want to go back and quickly see all the photos I took throughout the day on the multiple different projects, having that one turned on is pretty fantastic. Another way that people are looking for projects or just kind of seeing what's all in their CompanyCam account is using our map feature. And so on the mobile side, that map feature is going to be located right here above that camera icon. Go ahead and click on map. So as it loads here, you can see we've got a lot of different projects here in downtown Lincoln, 6 specifically at this headquarters here. So you can zoom out and you'll see these start to populate even more, and then you can zoom in to be able to find those different projects. So of course you can create a project here through that map, but it's kind of fun to see, you know, where are you located at and where are your projects at. I even have a lot of people use this as a sales tool, a little different than the basics here, but you can show your customer like, hey, I just did a project down the street, look at the map here. So if you do have multiple at the same location, just simply click on that where it says 10+ projects, and then you'll be able to easily swipe through those and of course click into a project and be able to work through it. That map feature will also be on the desktop side. It's going to be located here under payments. Go ahead and click on map. And it's going to be very similar. You can zoom in and out and view those different projects. It's going to be located here on the left-hand side where you can click on those. And later in this class, I'm going to talk about labels and organizing, things like that. you have the ability to use our labels to filter and find like maybe those active projects through this map feature. So something to think about here at the end when we talk about labels, you're able to do that here directly through our map. All right, let's get back on our project feed here. As far as creating a project, pretty straightforward and really easy to do. A lot of people have admins create these projects in the office, and some are creating them right when they get to the job site. So if you want to create these projects on the desktop side, just simply look for this plus button here on companycam.com, hit plus, and it will say create project. From there, you can drop a pin, or you can just simply type in the project name here. So maybe this is going to be Sarah's project. I can give it an address here. Fill all that good stuff out and then go ahead and create project. So really, really easy to do. Again, if you want your guys to do this in the field, like right when they get to the job site, they can create a project multiple different ways. I recommend hitting this plus project button next to the project tab. Plus project, again, you're going to get that map feed where you can move that pin around on the map, hit confirm, and you're going to go through that same step of giving it a project name. Having some consistency with your project name is something that I recommend. When we onboard people, we highly encourage you to have some sort of system that you use. So if it's the customer name, or a lot of people have like serial numbers, things like that, keeping it consistent is something that we hear, from folks of like, I wish I would have started this a while ago. So having that naming convention there, again, go ahead. I'm just going to put test project here. Gonna definitely go back and probably delete this and then go ahead and hit create. From there, it will ask you, do you just want to start taking photos right away, or do you want to go ahead and open this project? So you can do either one. Of course, you can upload photos if you forgot to do this in the first place. But if we hit open project there, then you'll be taken to that new project. Assigning users in a project is something we also recommend as a great way to stay organized. And to assign users, it's really easy to do. On the mobile side here, you're just going to look for that button that says assign. So I clicked assign down at the bottom, plus assign users. So the benefit to assigning a user is A, it will notify them, and B, it will show up in their projects. So if I assign my colleague Erin here, I'm just going to search for her name. Again, Erin is an internal user here at CompanyCam. That's how I'm able to assign her to this project. She's going to get a notification, and you can see she now popped up here as that she was assigned to the project. You don't have to do that. It's just a nice thing to do. If you do have restricted users on your account, though, you will need to assign them to the project. Standard, manager, and admin. So all of those, they'll be able to find this. Again, it's just a nice way to notify them. On the right-hand side, to assign the users, it's just going to be over here on the right-hand side that says project users. Same sort of workflow, just hit assign user, type in their name, and hit add to project. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, fantastic. We will keep moving right along then. Alrighty, let's start talking a little bit about some organizational things. So tags and labels. So tags and labels are a fantastic way to just have a system put together. It's kind of like a foldering system within CompanyCam. So let's start with labels. So labels are what you see here, like these green and yellow bars located on the project. So essentially, when you put a label on a project, you can then filter for that. So a common use case would be status of the project, maybe the year. I have a customer who likes to put, he works in the bath remodel industry. So like white marble, or if it's a certain paint color. So he's using that mostly for marketing purposes. So we see a lot of different things. But again, this is a feature that people say, I wish I would have started using this sooner. So let me show you first of all what it looks like to filter for a label, and then I'll show you how to apply it. So on my main project feed here, I have this little icon up at the top that says filter. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and select label. So I know that I love to put an active label on my projects because I want to filter for all of my active projects. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. And it's going to filter for all of those projects that have an active label. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory there. Again, just being able to filter for certain projects. Now, if you want to apply that label, it's really easy to do. Just simply click into that project. I'll do it on the mobile side here too. And then your labels are going to be here. Just simply click on it. You can also hit edit label, but I'm just going to click right here. You'll see my library of labels. You can create a new label, manager and admin. And then of course you can select one as well. So I'm going to select, let's close out of that there. I know that this was also happening in 2023 as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now that label will be associated with that project. So on the mobile side again, just simply click up there at the top. You can create that label or apply whichever one you would like. Hit save, and now you'll be able to go back and filter for this later. We have the same sort of convention on the photo side. So labels are for projects, tags are going to be for photos. So an example would be if you want to search for all of your before photos or maybe all of your after photos, that's a really common way to use a tag. So when I'm in this project here and you probably see all of these little tags, that's exactly what it is. So I can go then click on this and it will filter for the photos that have that specific tag on it. There's two ways you can apply a tag. You can do it after the photo's been taken, or you can do it while you're in the camera there. So let's say your team went and took all of their before photos for the day. You want to go and you want to tag all of these. It's really easy to do. You can mass select, so you can select next to the date here, or you can individually check mark these as well. Under actions, you'll have a drop down that says tag. So in there, this is where you can find and create your tags. So if this is your first time using our tags, you can type something in here and hit create, or you can simply click manage your company tags. This is where you can see what you have, or you can even create a new one here. So if we wanted to create before and hit add tag, then I'd be able to use that. So let's take it back one more step. If you want to go ahead and apply a tag in bulk, just simply select these right here. Actions, tag. Let's type in my before tag, apply that, and now I'll be able to go and filter for those later. Again, you can filter within the project, or if you drop down to your photo feed, you're going to see that same tag button, so I can look for all of my before photos throughout my entire company feed. So it just pulled those 4. It's going to be very similar on the mobile side. If you're in that project here, I recommend clicking on this tab. It says 312. That means I have 312 photos within this project. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so I can see all of my photos. This filter icon up at the top is going to allow you to filter for your photos again with your tags. Go ahead and hit before, save, and it will pull all of those photos that have that before tag, just like that. Alrighty, let's move into the camera here. All right, so primarily on the mobile side here is what I'm going to be talking about now. I'm on my project. I want to take photos, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the camera here. So just a few things I want to point out here before you start taking photos. So up in the top right corner here, you have this settings gear. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Just want to point out some basics here for you. Go ahead and click on all camera settings. Your image quality. So based on your plan, you have access to different qualities within the camera for the different image quality. So you have ultra, super fine, high, and normal. So I have ultra on mine here. If you scroll down, you have your aspect ratio. You also have your video quality for HD or 4K. And also under more, you have a lot of different options. So we're going to cover quick caption here today, where you can do the speech to text. I have that turned on. I recommend everybody to have that turned on. I also have stamped date and time on my photos, along with the GPS coordinates. Now that is something, as it says, it's permanently on the image. So as I'm taking photos and you're wondering, how do I have that on there? It's because it's a camera setting. So this is, again, going to be unique to each individual user. So if you get a new phone, or if you add a new user there, jump back in here and just double check your camera settings and to make sure you have them how you like them. So again, all I did was click into that camera and hit that settings gear up at the top right corner. A few other things while we're looking at the camera here before we start taking photos. Of course, you can turn on a flash if you're in a dark area. These two circles here is going to flip that camera, so it will be for the front-facing camera. And then we also have a tag icon. So we just talked about our tagging feature, how you can tag in bulk after you've taken the photo. You can also apply a tag in the camera, so you can be tagging in real time. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. I'm going to click on my tag icon, and these are actually going to be after these are going to be all my after photos. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So when I click into my project here, as I take photos, they're going to start loading in real time, and they're going to have an after tag on them. So to take a photo, again, just simply click your center icon here. You're able to take multiple photos pretty quickly. You can see I have that after tag on there in the bottom right corner, and then these are going to start loading in real time. So here they are populating. Let's just go ahead and click on one here. I can see my photo. I'm going to have that after tag here, and looks pretty good to me. A few other things here that are going to be within this camera here. When I was taking that photo, that gray bar was popping up that says description. So that's our quick caption. It was one of our newer features that came out this fall, and it's an easy way to add a description with a photo. So when I say description, that notepad that goes with the photo right over here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to take another photo here. I'm going to go ahead and hit description. Make sure we clean the windows tonight. Done. It saves that. I can go ahead and come over here. Same thing, description, make sure we clean these windows as well. Done. So when I'm onboarding new clients, I highly recommend that you get in the habit of doing this quick caption. If you're on a premium plan or elite, you know that you have access to our AI features, and AI loves any sort of context. So if you can be using that speech to text, or if you're writing out the description, just sets you up nicely to be able to use more features within CompanyCam. My photo tray is going to be over here in the bottom left corner, so I can simply click on that. I can see all the photos I just took, make sure they look good. Maybe one's blurry. You can, make that bigger, click into it here, and I can even see that description that I left. So I can click on that, add more to it by just hitting the edit button here. If I want to continue that speech to text, you can just simply hit your microphone in the bottom right corner and say, make sure we pull the shades down as well, if it likes me today. Oh, there we go. And simply hit save. All right, we're gonna go ahead and save that then. A few more things in the camera while we're here. Scanning. So if you slide over to the left-hand side, you're able to scan in a document. So you just simply hold it over. I forgot my receipt today, so I'm not gonna show you how that works. You just hold it over, it scans the document, and then it will load into your Documents tab. So different than a photo, it's going to save as a PDF. It's going to be documents instead of photos. Slide back over to our photo. Video, you've got the ability to take video within CompanyCam. Based on your plan, the length of the video will differ, but it's very easy. Just simply click on that, take the video, and you're good to go. We'll save in that normal photo feed there. And then the last one here I want to point out is dual video. So our elite users can use this. It turns on your front-facing camera. Of course, you still have the rear camera as well, and you can take that video there. So this is fantastic for marketing. A lot of people are putting this on like TikTok and Facebook, super fun. Great way to build rapport with your customers. Okay, any questions so far about the camera? Okay, let's talk a little bit about annotating your photos. So I talked about the descriptions. That's like that notepad with the photo. You also have the ability to leave an annotation directly on the photo. So you want to mark it up, point out some damage, add some more clarity. So I'm going to go ahead and just click into the same photo here. Your toolbar. So being able to add some annotations here. So just simply look for that squiggly line. So it's going to be here in the top left corner. On the mobile side, it's going to be the third option here. Squiggly line, squiggly line. All right, so now you have your editing toolbar open. They're pretty basic on what you can do. A few things I'll point out though, you can change the color. So up here at the top, I have blue. I'm going to go ahead and switch that to yellow. Right under that, you've got kind of that free form line where you can draw on things, point out things. Of course, if you don't like that, just simply hit undo and then hit that check mark to say okay and save that. You've got your circle. All I'm doing is just clicking on it and it's dropping it directly on the photo. If you guys want to move it around, just simply find that white dot there in the center. And I'm just going to long press and move it around the screen is what I'm doing. You want to make it bigger, click on this other white dot where you can expand it, and then you can also shrink it as well. I'm going to go ahead and add an arrow here. And maybe let's point out the top of that window there. I want to add some text to this as well. So just look for that big T. Anytime you leave a shape, it's going to say, hey, do you want to leave text directly with this shape? You can also just add your own. So I'm going to click the big T. I'm just going to write damage. Go ahead and hit save. Drops it directly on that photo. Again, if I just click on it, I can move it around and resize it and place it right there. If I go back to that big T, just a few things to point out. You can write text. You can also put in measurements here as well, just to have that look a little bit nicer. It drops it there and you can put it where you would like. Another one that's been really popular is the timestamp. So under that big T, you have that clock icon. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It drops the date and time directly on the photo. So again, you can make that smaller if you want, maybe pop it down in the bottom left corner. I actually have a lot of people use this as like a clock in feature. So they're manually doing this, of course. They're putting the time directly on the photo. CompanyCam already tracks that, but if you want to put it right there, you can. All right. Ooh, my nose is running. Sorry, we've got a cold over here. Okay, let's move on to before and after photos. Or were there any questions? Okay, I'm okay. I'll be fine. Okay, let's talk about before and after photos. So this is my before photo. Let's go ahead and take an after photo. So you can do this live or you can do it, sorry, I'm laughing. You can do it after the fact. So here's my before photo. I'm gonna go ahead and click my 3 dots and take after photo. Thank you. So once you click your after photo here, you'll see that you're able to line up the photo. You have like that first one there. It's kind of like that ghost overlay. I'm able to line it up, snap it, and now I can take my after photo. So it creates a nice little before and after feature for you where you can save this, post it to Facebook, post it to Instagram. It is going to automatically tag it for you before and after, which is nice. We just talked about those tags. Go ahead and hit save and you're good to go. So again, what I did there, I went back to my project. I went and opened a before photo. Click your 3 dots in the bottom right corner. And then from this section here, you can hit take after photo. Line it up and you're good to go. Hit save. If you forget to do it in real time out in the field, that's no problem. Or admins, if you want to do this for your guys, you can do it from the desktop side. A few ways you can do it. You can just select your 2 photos and you'll see here up at the top, it says create before and after. Got your logo, go ahead and hit save. So same thing, you can also click into it if you want to view your photo a little bit bigger here, but just simply select the 2 and you're able to create that template. Create before and after. We give you a lot of different templates here based on the size of your photo or if it's landscape or portrait. This one's my favorite. You always want to put your logo in there. Hit save and you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to blow my nose. 1 second. All right, we're better. Allergies in Nebraska are terrible. Okay, let's talk about tasks. I know we're getting towards the end here. Okay, tasks. So a lot of people ask about this. What are tasks? Tasks are like just one-off things that I recommend for people to do as like a to-do. So they're very different than our checklists. Our tasks on the mobile side are going to live next to our pages. So you'll see this here under tasks. This isn't really used for like any of your standardized operating procedures, more like call the customer tomorrow, or as you can see, you can attach a photo with a task. You're going to have access to this on all of the plans. On the desktop side is where you have tasks as well. So you can hit create new tasks. So maybe call customer tomorrow before 9. Go ahead and hit enter. They are pretty cool though. I'm going to zoom in so you can see you are able to assign a user to a task. So if I want to assign myself just to draw a notification, you'll see that comes through. I can click on that and then it will take me and open up my task. So it will take me to my tasks. If I'm on my photo feed here, next to that squiggly line, you'll see that check mark button. This is where you can create a task from a photo. So maybe this is post to Instagram tomorrow. Create new task. So that'll add that to your task list there. It will add it to the bottom. So if I go back and look here, oh, maybe I didn't hit save. Anyway, once you create a task, it does move it to the bottom there. Let's do assigned to me. You can also do unfinished and you can also do finished. There we go. So there's all my finished ones, and these are the ones that are still in progress. There we go. Post to Instagram located there at the bottom. So watch out for your filters here. I always recommend the unfinished probably, but if you want to filter between the two, you can. All right, let's zoom back out. Okay, checklists. Checklists are one of our most popular features. It's a great way to stay on the same page. If you guys are premium or elite users, you know that you have access to our templates, which means you can save and reuse a checklist. If you're on the pro plan, you would need to create a checklist every single time. And I know a lot of you do that as well. So I'm just going to really show you what a checklist looks like and how you would work through it. So when you click into your project here, look for that checklist tab. It's going to be located right next to the tasks on mobile and reports on desktop. I've got my HVAC one here, so I'm just going to go ahead and click onto this. So you're seeing the same checklist here. Most people are using these, of course, on the mobile side. So I have my field with my questions. I can answer them here, and I can also attach photos. So the easiest way is to hit your camera, take a photo, or take multiple, hit done. Those photos will live with that specific field. You can answer the question, and then you can check it off. So we actually have a class that we did that talks a lot about checklists. So if you have more questions about this, check out our other class on this, or your account manager would be happy to dive into this with you. There's a lot you can do here, and it could take, again, like a whole 15 minutes. So I just more wanted to show you guys where they're located, how they work. On the desktop side here, of course, you can still add photos. It's not as common. Again, it's more of a field tool. But if you hover over this field, you can hit add photo here. It's going to go fetch the photos from that project. Of course, you can upload photos if you need to. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that, hit confirm, and it's going to do that same action. You can add the photo, check it off, and then move on. So these are fantastic for, yeah, again, your standard operating procedures, any of your inspections, walkthroughs. This is what people are using for it. So the best part is too, you can export these as a PDF to share with the customer, or put it into your CRM. 3 dots at the top right corner here, you can export to PDF. Okay, 2 more things here before we wrap up. Sharing a gallery and timeline link. So you just want to share photos out with a customer. Really, really easy to do. On the desktop side here, hit the share button at the top. This is where you can share all images. If you just want to share all of them for a one-time thing, go ahead and click on that. It's going to ask you if you would like to include who, when, and where each photo was taken. Always a great idea. Let's turn that on, hit get link. It'll give this to you right here where you can copy it. You can push it straight to an email, pop it right to Facebook, or if you just want to simply view the gallery. So I clicked view gallery so you can see what the customer would receive. This is what you've got here. They have the ability to download the photo, even click into it. Again, it takes 3 seconds to share photos with a third party outside of CompanyCam. So that first one I talked to you about was sharing a gallery link. So I hit share all images. If you just want to share a few, you can just select the 2 that you want or however many. Same thing, hit share and it will share that gallery link. Now we also have a timeline link. So a timeline link is live. If I share this with you today and I continue to add photos, it will update in real time. So if you hit share timeline link, paste that out to them, they will see progress updates with just photos that the customer can go back and revisit. They stay in the loop and you only have to share it one time. You have the ability to disable this link by clicking share again. If you want to remove the access, you can do that at any time. And you can also hide photos from a timeline link. Okay, last but not least here, let's talk a little bit about collaborators. Collaborators are a way for you to invite your subcontractors to collaborate on a project with you. So when I say subcontractor, I should say an external person. They are not an internal user within CompanyCam. So you don't have them internal, you're not paying for them. They have their own business, but you want them to add photos into your CompanyCam account. That's when you use a collaborator. 2 ways you can invite them here, desktop and on mobile. So I'm just going to hit collaborator. It's going to say invite a company to collaborate. You send them this link. It does say that it expires after 7 days. So give them a heads up. Hey, I'm inviting you to collaborate with this project on me. They will click on that link and accept it. If they already have a CompanyCam account set up under their own name, of course, again, it'll just pop right into their account. They hit accept and they've got access. If this is their first time, it walks them through the steps of setting up an account. Really, really easy to do. Again, you can do this on the mobile side as well. Hit plus collaborator and it will be the same steps. I'm going to click on this help page here. Just a little bit of information. Again, there's a lot to our collaborators. It is pretty simple, but if you do have questions, we have some great help resources for you here. As far as what they can do, it does depend on their plan, on everything that they can share. As far as like a checklist, for example, they would need to be a paid account to be able to see a checklist as a collaborator. If they're on a free account, they can still add photos, but not view checklists. So just an example of what I'm saying is there's a little bit to it here, and this resource is fantastic for you. Also, your account manager would be happy to answer any questions for you as well. All righty. I believe that's everything. Any questions I can answer before we wrap up? Okay, well, let's move on to our resources here. I talked a lot about reach out to your account manager. Here are these resources. We want to make sure you have access to these. So first and foremost, we have a support team that is awesome. You can work with them through chat within the app, and you can also email them at support@companycam.com. Technical problems, things like that, they are your go-to people. We also have Spanish resources for you. You can find them on our YouTube channel, and we also have a website for that, and we've done a live class. So you can view all of that here. How-to articles, I referenced this many times. That's what I was looking at on the collaborator side. Our support team put this together. They are easy articles with screenshots. So it's so easy to understand and very, very helpful. I have it favorited on my computer, so definitely check that out. More how-to videos, more classes like this. We do this multiple times a month. You can view our previous classes at companycam.com/classes, or you can also check out our YouTube page. Last but not least, I talked about your account manager. You all have one. If you don't know who it is, we'd be happy to get you in touch with them. You can put in the Q&A there, hey, I want to reach out to I want to know who my account manager is, have them reach out to me, or you can email them at success@companycam.com. We'd love to introduce ourselves to you. Last year, we have more classes. So our mobile one that we always do every month, it's a fantastic one for people just getting started with CompanyCam or field users. That's going to be May 7th. How to use your CompanyCam photos to market your business. That will be on May 14th. And then CompanyCam on desktop will be May 21st. Great for admins, people who are primarily on the desktop site there. So like normal, register at companycam.com/classes. You get a recording for these every time. So no stress if you can't make it live. But last call for questions. Okay, fantastic. Well, I will leave these resources up for you guys. let us know if you need anything from us. We appreciate you coming. Hopefully you guys learned something from this today, and we will see you next time.